Well, it's going around the internet, so that means we need to talk about it. I've seen this in my comment section. I've seen other YouTubers talk about it as well. And eventually it was going to come around to me. So here we go. You've seen the thumbnail. You've seen the title. I'm sure you've seen this video floating around somewhere. It was only a matter of time before I made it. And that is PFF, the great and valued PFF. I don't know why people put so much into PFF, like so much faith. It's just a bunch of dudes who sit there and pop numbers off that make no sense, and everybody hangs on everything that they do. Well, they suggested a trade. Now, this guy, Brad Spielberger, has been on Locked On Lions quite a bit, and he puts out a trade for, and I've seen this, so I knew I was going to have to talk about it, and that is for the Detroit Lions to potentially trade for veteran pass rusher Khalil Mack. Here's what he says. Trade compensation, a 2025 fifth-round pick. So that's not this year. That is the next year. Contract acquired, 1 year, $23 million, non-guaranteed. Now, here's the thing about that. Initially talking about it, it seems preposterous. It really does. And I really don't know if Brad Holmes is going to do something like that. But we've been talking about as pass rusher the entire time since the season has been over. Because, yeah, I'll talk about some secondary people very soon here. But pass rush is my number one priority. And I believe that it is Brad Holmes' version as well. Now, Khalil Mack, these numbers are solid, though, that I don't critique PFF for everything. But some of their numbers don't make any sense. Khalil Mack in the 2022 season, pass rush win rate was 11%. In 2023, it was 18%. So he was in the top 10 in 2023. Pressure was 17%, 43rd in 2022. 68% pass rush grade, 48. Pass rush grade in 2023, 86% or 86. Run stops, 33, third. In 2022, tied for 46. So he had a fantastical year, almost like a make-believe year. I'm going to show you what this dude did in 2023. It was insane. Khalil Mack, 17 sacks. And the crazy part is that was only fourth in the NFL. 17 sacks. For reference, Danielle Hunter, who's 3 years younger, had 16 and a half. All right. He will be 33 in a week. All right. Drafted in 2014. Now, here's the thing about this. When I see stuff like this, I immediately think Brad Holmes, because Tyson Alu, 2012 draft. Bruce Irvin, 2012 draft. 30-plus-year-old guys. Bruce Irvin was 36. Tyson, 34. Khalil Mack being 33. I know in the comment section, you guys said that Danielle Hunter was too old. Danielle Hunter is like a fine wine, and he's getting better with age. Seems like Khalil Mack is as well. Now, 5 years ago, when he got traded to the Bears, it would have been something. But I will say this. As ridiculous as this sounds for the Detroit Lions to eat $23 million in his salary, non-guaranteed. Okay. What if they were to do something like this? Let's go back. A fifth round pick in 2025. I'm not sure if I would do that, but I will say that 23 for a pass rusher who is coming off the seasons that Khalil has had, even at 33 years old, which he will be, could be a steal. It could be a steal. All right. So in Khalil's career, his worst year was his rookie year. In Oakland, he was an absolute monster. He got 4 his rookie year, then double-digit sacks the next 3. In Chicago, he had 10, 7, an insane 21, and then 4 the year that he was traded. He only played 7 games, though. He's been 2 years with the Los Angeles Chargers, got 8 and a ridiculous 17. We just talked about I think it was Chris Jones, who has 75 sacks. Danielle Hunter, in his, how many years now? He is going into year 11 or 12, somewhere around there. 101.5 sacks. Now, I'm not certain that this would be a thing, because you have to look at it like this. Danielle Hunter is on the last year of his deal, and he is probably, any of these last year deal guys are probably going to come with an extension. Now, the 2025 fifth round pick, yeah, sign me up. Sign me up, no doubt about it. Now, here's where it gets kind of intriguing at. If you are the Los Angeles Chargers, you've got Khalil Mack, you've got Joey Bosa, you've got guys on that D-line. Could you possibly cut Khalil Mack, very similar to how the Arizona Cardinals cut DeAndre Hopkins last offseason? Could that be a thing? Could they potentially cut DeAndre Hopkins? That, on the other hand, is very intriguing. Now, I can't remember off the top of my head. I know that the cap hit was preposterous, or the dead money something. And the Arizona Cardinals was like, it's time to go. It's time to go. He wound up signing a 2-year deal with the Tennessee Titans, which I wish Brad Holmes would have went and got him. But could Khalil Mack wind up in a situation like that? So you know what? I'm going to leave this to you guys. You guys have heard my opinion time and time again. Would you want Brad Holmes to trade? How would you feel about this? Again, trade proposal from Brad Spielberger. Okay, bring it back in. A 2025 fourth round pick. I'm sorry, I said it was a fifth round. A fourth round pick in 2025. So not this draft, the next one. We take a 1-year, $23.25 million non-guaranteed for Khalil Mack, who is coming off a 17-sack season. But just to go back for reference, this guy is still a dog. He really is. If he got cut, if he was cut like DeAndre Hopkins, I would say, Brad Holmes, make it happen. I would say sign him to a 1-year, $15 million deal, or 2-year, I don't know, 2-year, 20-something million. Khalil Mack getting cut would probably be a steal at that point. But 23 for a guy who is going to be on his fourth team if that was to happen. So that's tough. Khalil Mack coming off subpar seasons. But even in his worst year, his last year with the Chicago Bears, and this is why this stuff is intriguing. The Detroit Lions pass rush, and Brad Spielberger, I think PFF is kind of ridiculous. I have no idea how they come up with their numbers. I think I love numbers. I love analytical data, but sometimes their numbers don't make sense to the play on the field. They'll give somebody who had a miserable game a high PFF grade. But when you look at, I think these things make sense from a perspective of Khalil Mack, okay? Just put this in perspective. 17 sacks. He had the highest sack total of his entire career last year. It was an anomaly. I remember he had 6 in one game. So that was boosted by those 6. So let's take those 6 away. Let's give him 2 in that one game. So instead of 17, he now has 13, somewhere around there. That's not bad. But check this out. In 2022, he had 8 sacks. In 2021, when he got injured, he had 6 sacks. Both of those numbers are higher than everyone on our team except Aiden Hutchinson. So think about that. No interior lineman, no edge has more than 5 sacks. And the interior lineman missed 4 games. Aleem probably would have had 1 or 2 more. So I think this is why these get intriguing. So I'll let you be the judge. Would you trade Khalil Mack and eat his contract of $23+ million? You can put whatever you want in the comment section, whatever it is, extension, whatever it would take for a 4th round pick. But right now, with no extension, 4th round pick in 2025, $23.25 million. Would you trade for Khalil Mack? If he were cut like DeAndre Hopkins, Brad Holmes better be the first person on the phone. That's what he better do. Could you imagine? Let me just throw this out here. Matthew Betts, Khalil Mack, some other guy, whether if it's in the draft, Andrew Van Ginkel, AJ Epinesa. I mean, if you were to do that, now see, that's getting me all giddy on the inside. I got giddy bumps, goosebumps, man. If we were, that's like fantasy stuff. That's like some fantasy football. But then again, DeAndre Hopkins was cut. The Arizona Cardinals moved on from him. They got a boatload of picks, so that might be why. So I'm just throwing it out there, man. That's the stuff that gets you a little happy right there. Get you a little excited. Khalil Mack, Matthew Betts, Andrew Van Ginkel sprinkled in there for good measure, AJ Epinesa, or somebody in the draft, man, please. Shore up that secondary. I'm telling you, we'd go from one of the worst bottom third defenses in the league to top 5 with even 2 of those guys. So let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Do you think PFF is ridiculous, or do you think you would entertain? I'm telling you, Brad Holmes makes any move worth 2 cents, I'm going to be happy because we have no pass rush at all. Hutch, 11.5. The next closest person is Aleem with 5. There's a discrepancy there. And this 32-year-old man has 8, 6, 9, 8.5 in his last 4 years, all more than the next closest person got on our team. So let me know your thoughts. This is a tough one for me. I don't know. Maybe a little lower, maybe for about 17, 18. But even at $23 million, I think that's pretty much a steal for a guy of his caliber, even though he's been doing it a long time. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.